Hello everybody, welcome to the Daily Brick. My name is Nick, and today we're looking at set number 76040, Brainiac Attack. This set is such an interesting one because this is probably the last time we ever got a DC set that wasn't just based on Batman. Yes, I'm calling you out, Lego. This set is actually really cool. I am so happy to see these three minifigures in a lineup against Brainiac. Martian Man Hunter, Supergirl, and Superman all against Brainiac is something that probably a lot of DC fans and Lego fans have wanted for a long time, and to get this in this form is just fantastic. This ship that Brainiac is using looks just like something out of Alien Conquest, so that is pretty awesome. I think that's a cool reference to the actual line, and there are some really cool details in both the ship and the minifigs that we're going to talk about. Taking a look at Brainiac's ship, I love the skull design built into the front of the ship right there. That is really cool. Again, this does look just like an Alien Conquest set, just with a Brainiac takeover. There are thrusters in the back there using these pink 2x2 discs among the very large thruster pieces. There are some stickers that run along the sides with some different hexagonal patterns, and it runs up to this paneling up there at the front. I love these tentacle legs. It does really look like Brainiac's ship. I'll sort of bring up a picture of that so you guys can see. Again, that skull is built using some different snot techniques and some different cheese slopes that give it the actual skull formation. On the side here, you have these massive blasters that lead into this big transparent green tube, which is pretty dang cool. On the inside, you can see that he does have a 1x2 cheese slope with that little heads-up display right there, so that's pretty cool, and it does fit one minifigure. I guess you could put another minifig or maybe two on these sides, left or right. I'm not sure if the dome closing would allow for that, but that is something that you could definitely test out for yourself. For the actual gun, you can pretend that it got shot off with this tube. It's just attached by these two can Technic pins right there, so it does look like you can just easily hit this and it'll just swing down, which is pretty cool. That is definitely something that is a cool play feature. There are also the flick fire missiles on the side, so you can just hit one of these and that'll just shoot right out right there. I didn't want to do it just because I didn't want to lose anything, but that is going to just slide right back there. That is one of those Technic joint pieces. It does kind of hit an awkward stance if you don't line up these tentacles the same way. It's definitely odd. I'm not entirely sure how to do it. That looks good. That looks pretty good to make it look like it's standing up. And again, it looks very menacing when you do it that way. And just put this right back in there. There's not a whole lot else to the build. The minifigs are really the standout for the set. So let's take a look at them. Starting with the minifigures, we do have Brainiac. Brainiac does not have any leg printing on the legs, but there are some really cool prints, some tubing that runs up his torso. There's some cool lines underneath that. You can see all the tubes look really well, and the skin tone is using the lime green color. He does have some printing on the back of the torso as well, so you can see more of those panels, more of those pink tubes, and some pink dots on his head, both on the front and back. Those are also where tubes would be coming out of. He's a very strange character in the comics. I know he's very prevalent in Injustice, so that was really cool to get. I think that a Brainiac minifig is very appropriate for a DC villain, especially for a Superman villain. I love when DC actually cared about giving us new figures and characters that weren't just Batman or Batman adjacent figs. I think that we have too many Batmans, we have too many Robins. The new Arkham Asylum gave us some really cool figures, but nothing on this level of detail, and also this, other than the Poison Ivy and the Batwing are really cool. I think that those are really cool inclusions, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of exclusivity, and there's not a whole lot of variety in Batman or DC figs nowadays. Up next, we have Martian Man Hunter. This is number 1 of 2 Martian Man Hunters. Actually, this would technically be number 2 of the two different ones, because the first one came out in a poly bag. However, this one does have a cape that has the starchy fabric for the little collar piece, and then it has the spongy fabric for the main cape. For the legs, he does have no printing on the legs as well, so those are just plain blue legs. The printing on the torso is pretty simple, but it gives the point across really well. That is Martian Man Hunter 100%, and his skin tone is using the normal green color. Pretty sure he also has printing on the back. He does have those red straps that run along the back as well. And then for the face, very simple, very Martian Man Hunter though. It looks great. He has the red eyes and the green skin tone, so that's just perfect. Up next, we have Supergirl, which is such an interesting inclusion because just a year before this set, we had gotten the Dimensions Supergirl. So this is almost identical, except the hair pieces are slightly different. This one uses the hair that's sort of let out. The other one has a long blonde ponytail. This fig is so good regardless. I love the leg printing. She does have dual molded legs, so you can see that on the back here. Actually, I lied. She does not have dual molded legs. She just has regular molded legs, so that printing is really good there on the legs. I love the boots up into the skirt, up into the blue torso, which works so well into the legs as well. I think that the Supergirl logo right there is perfect. She also does have back printing, very simple. You've got the yellow belt and just some blue details for her back, and she does not have any arm printing, which is perfect because you don't really need arm printing for Supergirl. But she does have two faces, one of which being the normal smile, and then a little alternate version where she has the laser eyes, which is so cool because every Superman usually comes with the laser eye variant as well. Speaking of Superman, we do have Superman himself as the next minifigure. This Superman we've been getting for so long. He's got the spongy cape. This is kind of an updated version. He also has the laser eyes, like I was saying. He's got the little classic swoop of the hair, and he's got no printing on the legs as well, no arm printing, but the classic Superman torso. Honestly, such a perfect fig. They really did not need to change this. I love that the hip piece is actually in red to represent the underwear on the outside. He also has printing on the back, so you're not going to see any other details other than the belt and more back printing, so it's almost identical to Supergirl. But yeah, this fig is pretty good, and he always has the alternate face print of just a generic sort of scowl, so usually Superman's got a smile on, but who knows? This one, he might be having a bad day, especially since Brainiac is invading. This set is one to behold, as again, LEGO does not make sets based on other DC figs nowadays. The last time we did get a Superman was not even for the tie-in of the film, so that's really unfortunate. I think getting a David Cornsett Superman would have been insane, and everyone would have been going crazy over it, but we just didn't get anything based on the movie. So to review something like this kind of makes me feel like we definitely deserve a Superman set based on the new Superman, which would be really cool. But to get these figs in, especially the amount of detail that we're getting them in, is just perfect. I am so happy to get these, especially when they are just such short staff for DC minifigs nowadays. Anyways, that is going to be all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.